Hello Avalanche, my name is Chris Wilson, and in this video, we will go over connecting to an Avalanche node with DataHub. Avalanche is an open source platform for launching decentralized applications and enterprise blockchain deployments in one interoperable, highly scalable ecosystem. Avalanche is the first smart contracts platform that processes 4,500 plus transactions per second and instantly confirms those transactions. Ethereum developers can quickly build on Avalanche as Solidity works out of the box. A key difference between Avalanche and other decentralized networks is the consensus protocol. Over time, people have come to a false understanding that blockchains have to be slow and non-scalable. The Avalanche protocol employs a novel approach to consensus to achieve its strong safety guarantees, quick finality, and high throughput, without compromising decentralization. Check out the official developer documentations for more details on how Avalanche works. Avalanche.js is a client JavaScript package that makes it easy to interact with Avalanche blockchain nodes, query data, submit transactions, which offer plenty of functionalities. It's the official package developed by Avalanche and is preferred method of communicating with nodes on private or public networks for development purposes. Let's go ahead and go on over to DataHub, navigate to our Avalanche protocol, scroll all the way down once you sign in and click Start next to Tutorial 1. Now, before we dig into the pathway, let's check to see if we have the right environment. We will need to download the latest version of Nodejs 12.19.1 or greater. We will need a code editor like VS Code. If you're on Windows, I recommend going to the Docker setup for Windows right here and following this tutorial before continuing with this one. You can continue on Windows, however, it is generally more difficult than using Ubuntu with Docker. For this tutorial, I'll be using Docker and Ubuntu through VS Code on Windows 10 Home. The required packages for this video are the Avalanche package for the Avalanche JavaScript API and the .env package for working with environmental variables, which we will cover in the following steps. Now that we know what we need, we can set up our project and all required dependencies. First, make sure you have the right version of Nodejs installed on your development machine. We encourage developers to use a version manager to easily switch between different Nodejs engine versions without breaking any existing projects and development setups. Popular options include NVM and ASDF Node.js. I'm using NVM Node Version Manager. You can get the Windows version of NVM that I'm using over here on this GitHub. You just scroll down here and get this one, and then just get the installer zip. And if you want to know how to use it, down here in the About Me is a great section to check out. If you don't have much experience working with Linux systems, you may be overwhelmed by the prospect of controlling an operating system from the command line. If so, this can be a great resource to help you get acquainted. And that would be this guy right here. It's got pretty much everything you need to know on how to navigate around with Linux. All right, make sure Docker has been started and we can go ahead and fire up Ubuntu. Now we can use the print work directory by typing pwd and hitting enter to see what directory we're in. And we can use the list command ls to see a list of available directories. To navigate to another directory with the change directory command cd followed by name of the directory you want to go to, and you can hit enter, and now we've entered it. Now if I go list command again, you can see all of the stuff inside of that directory. Now if I go cd change directory without a name, that'll take me back to my home, and we can see that with print work directory command pwd, and there it is. Now that we know how to navigate our file system, we can create a new directory where our project will live with the make directory command mkdir followed by the name of our new directory. Mine will be ava path. Enter. We can use the print work directory to make sure we're in that directory, and we're not. So we'll go cd for change directory, then we'll go ava path tut, and then we can go print work directory. And now we can use the code to open in Visual Studio Code. And then we're going to want to open a new terminal. In here is where we'll be doing most of our work. So now in here, we can run node-v to get our node version. And I have 12.19.1. If you don't have that or higher, and you have NVM installed, you can run the command nvm install and then the version and then your archetype, which should be 64-bit, or nvm install 12.19.1 space 64. And that would look like that, and then you would hit enter. And then if you wanted to then use it, you would have to do nvm use you would then have to do that and hit enter. So that'd be nvm use 12.19.164. All right, so we have the right move. We can move on to initializing the new Nodejs project. To do that, we use the command npm init-y, which is the Node Package Manager initializer, and it will simply generate an empty npm project without going through an interactive process. The -y stands for yes. And hit enter. As a result, you will see a new file, package.json, created in our current directory. We're going to leave the file as is for now. Now we are ready to download and install the packages we mentioned earlier that are required for our application, the Avalanche and .env packages. We can do that by typing the following command into our terminal in VS Code: np install --save avalanche.env. So let's go ahead and copy that into our terminal and hit enter. After successful installation, you should also see the packages added to your package.json file. And that would look like dependencies right here, Avalanche and the .env. So here's the packages and the version of each package that we just added with the npm install. When we have that out of our way, we can continue by creating a .env file that will hold all of our sensitive data. You should never commit this file to a Git repository, so make sure to create a .gitignore file with the following contents. Let's do that now. So we'll go to our main thing, create file, .git ignore. Now in here, we want to put .env and credentials. Now let's make sure that that is indeed what we want. Yep, env credentials. So now we can go back, hit Control S to save our file and apply it. So this right here, that's going to tell Git repo to ignore our .env file and our credentials. Once that's done, we can create an .env file just like we did with that one. Go ahead and close that. New file, .env. And now in our env file is where we're going to have some fun. So here we can go ahead and copy this, because this is going in our env file. Put that in there. And now right here where it says your API key, We want to go ahead and delete that. And then we'll go back to the DataHub. Now remember, do not share this API with anyone. If you do happen to share it, or you committed without a get ignore in your thing, go ahead and rotate your API. That'll give you a new number and you'll be safe. So here's your API key. We're going to go ahead and copy it. Go back to VS Code, put that in there, and then we're going to save it. Control S. So make sure you have replaced your API key with a valid DataHub access key. We have completed all the necessary configuration steps now and can finally start building our application. We will start by configuring the Avalanche JavaScript package and then check if everything works by fetching the node status information. Let's create a new file, client.js. All right, go ahead and create a new file, client.js. And now inside here, you're going to want to go ahead and copy this code, throw it in there, and save. We will be using this helper file throughout the pathway. It provides us with a nice little function to create and configure the Avalanche node client so we don't have to unnecessarily copy and paste such codes in multiple files. Another benefit is that we will also have an environment variables check to verify the environment and catch any issues before running the actual code. Next, let's create an actual file and load our helper code. Generate a connect.js file with the following contents. And here's our code for the connect.js. And then save. We first start by loading the environment variables with the .env package, followed by the require/client. This is a common pattern for keeping maintainable code and is heavily featured in all pathway steps. In the code above, we query Avalanche node for some basic information like node software version, network name, number of peers. Actual functionality is provided by the info API client, client.info. That communicates with Info API. Avalanche provides a set of API endpoints for different components like X, P, C chains that are part of the same system. Great, so we are ready to run the code, node connect.js. Congratulations, you've successfully connected to the node. Now we can head back over to DataHub and scroll all the way down and click Verify. Awesome. Now that we've successfully connected to Avalanche node using DataHub, we are ready to move on to the next tutorial. We have also created the foundation for the next steps. In the next tutorial, we will be creating our first Avalanche account on the Fuji testnet and fund it with some test tokens. As always, if you had any difficulty following this tutorial or simply want to discuss Avalanche and DataHub tech with us, you can join our community Discord with the link down below. I look forward to seeing you there, and until next time, happy coding.